God's chosen one. Someone is asking about your home address, and they're trying to check it. No, I'm not talking about a bill collector, not the mailman, not some scammer with a blocked number. I'm talking about something happening right now in the unseen realm around your house. Picture this with me for just a moment. An elderly soul sitting alone tonight. The house is quiet, too quiet. Phone face down on the kitchen table. Blinds half closed. Streetlights glowing outside like distant witnesses. And in that stillness, there's a question that won't leave your heart alone. Does anyone even know I'm here? You've carried things inside these four walls that no one sees. Grief that has no name. Prayers whispered through clenched teeth at 3 a.m. Tears that soaked the pillow when you thought you couldn't cry anymore. You've asked God, maybe even screamed it, Lord, do you even see this little house, this small address, this quiet, forgotten life? And here's what I need you to hear tonight. Chosen one, your address is not random. Your home is not invisible. And right now, this very second, heaven is asking about you. Not to condemn, not to judge, not to overlook, but to deliver. Something is moving in the spiritual realm. Angels are being dispatched. Scrolls are being unsealed. Your name, your exact name, has been spoken in the courts of heaven. And what's coming to your doorstep isn't what you think. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just a message. It might be the very reason you clicked on this video tonight. It might be the answer to the question you stopped asking because you were too tired to hope anymore. Before we go any further, I want to say something from my heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just giving, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling, forgotten in their pain. Whether you sow a seed today or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message is already stirring something in your soul, go ahead, let that be a signal to heaven. Right now, if something in your spirit is already trembling, if tears are already rising, type these words in the comments. My house is not forgotten. Let heaven see you're listening. Because tonight, chosen one, your address is glowing on heaven's map. And what's about to be delivered will change everything. Setting the stage, their pain, their doubts, their house. Have you ever stood in your own living room and felt like a stranger? Have you walked past the bedroom where your children once slept and wondered if those days were real or just a dream you can't wake up from? Have you sat at your kitchen table, hands wrapped around a cold cup of coffee, and asked yourself the most terrifying question of all? If I disappeared tomorrow, who would even notice? Chosen one, I know you. I know you're watching this alone right now. Maybe your spouse is in the other room, lost in their own silence. Maybe the house is so quiet you can hear the refrigerator hum. Maybe the TV is on just to fill the void, just so you don't have to sit with the weight of your own thoughts. You live in a home that used to burst with noise, children running, doors slamming, laughter echoing off the walls. But now it's just you. And the silence is so loud it hurts. Your kids, they're in another state, another life. They call on birthdays if you're lucky. They text on holidays with those little emojis that feel more like obligations than affection. And you smile. You say, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But when you hang up, the loneliness crawls back in like fog. You look around this house, your house, and you see ghosts. The living room still remembers the sound of laughter that hasn't visited in years. The kitchen sink has caught more of your tears than any human ever has. The front door, it used to swing open with arms full of groceries, with grandkids running in, with life pouring through. Now it just clicks shut behind you. Quiet. Final. Like a period at the end of a sentence nobody wanted to finish. This isn't just four walls to you, is it? This is where you raised babies into adults. This is where you fought to keep the lights on when money was tight. This is where you prayed on your knees when the doctors said the word cancer. This is where you waited God, how you waited for phone calls that never came, for apologies that were never spoken, for reconciliation that still feels like a fantasy. And now the bills keep rising. The property taxes went up again. The insurance premiums are choking you. The neighborhood that used to feel like family, it doesn't even feel safe anymore. You lock your doors twice now. You peek through the blinds when you hear footsteps outside. You wonder if anyone would hear you if you called for help. Psalm 142:4 says, "Look to my right and see. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life." You've felt that, haven't you? You've laid in bed at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, heart pounding, asking God, "Do you even see me here? Do you know my address? Do you know what it feels like to be forgotten?" Maybe you've had family arguments that tore holes in your heart so deep you don't even know how to stitch them back together. Maybe there's a child who won't speak to you, and you've stopped trying because the rejection hurts too much. Maybe you feel like a burden to your kids, to your spouse, to the world. You've thought about it, haven't you? What it would be like if you just weren't here anymore. Not because you want to leave, but because you're tired. Tired of feeling invisible. Tired of carrying weight no one else can see. Tired of pretending you're okay when you're barely holding on. But here's what I need you to hear, chosen one. Right now, this very second, someone is asking about your address. Not a creditor, not a stranger with bad intentions, not even a long-lost relative who suddenly remembered you exist. Heaven is asking about your address, and they're not asking to harm you. They're not asking to shame you or expose you or add to your pain. They're asking because you've been marked. Your home, this little house that you think nobody cares about, is glowing on heaven's map like a lighthouse in the storm. Angels have been dispatched to your street corner. Scrolls have been unsealed with your name written in fire. And what's coming to your doorstep isn't judgment. It's deliverance. It's the answer to every prayer you stopped praying because you thought God stopped listening. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Not distant, not far away, not ignoring you. Close. So close that he knows the exact number of steps it takes from your bedroom to your kitchen. So close that he's counted every tear that soaked into your pillowcase. So close that when you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," he leaned in and said, "I know, and I'm coming." You thought you were forgotten, but you were being prepared. You thought you were overlooked, but you were being protected. You thought this house was just a place to wait out the rest of your days, but heaven has another plan. Your address is not random, chosen one. Your street is not an accident. The number on your mailbox? It's been recorded in the courts of heaven. And something is moving toward you right now that will change everything. If that hits your heart, if something in your spirit just broke open, whisper it, even out loud. Say, "Lord, I'm listening." And don't you dare click away, because what I'm about to reveal next will change how you see every room in your home. It will change how you understand your pain. It will change how you walk through your front door from this moment forward. Someone is asking about your address, and the reason why will leave you breathless. The spiritual reveal. Heaven is tracking your address. Now listen closely. Chosen one, what I'm about to tell you may sound impossible, but I need you to lean in, because in the courts of heaven right now, this very moment, your name has been spoken, not whispered in passing, not mentioned as an afterthought. Spoken with authority, with intention, with divine precision. And yes, your address has been spoken too. Last night, while you slept or tried to, something happened in the unseen realm. Your home did not pass unnoticed. Angels walked the streets around your block. They know the number on your front door. They've seen the porch light you leave on because the dark feels too heavy. They've traced the tears that fell on your pillow when you thought no one was watching. You see, heaven doesn't work like the world does. The world forgets. The world overlooks. The world moves on to the next thing, the next person, the next address. But heaven encamps. That word encamp, it's not passive, it's not poetic fluff, it's a military term. It means to set up position, to stay, to guard, to watch with intention. Psalm 34:7 says it clearly. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Read that again. Encamps, not visits, not flies by, not checks in occasionally. He stays. And chosen one, if you've been crying out to God in that house, if you've been asking him, do you even see me here? Then let me tell you something that will shift everything. Your home is surrounded, not by darkness, not by danger, by angels, by divine presence, by the very hand of God himself, drawing a line in the spiritual realm and saying, this one is mine, this house is covered, this life is marked. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I don't feel surrounded. I feel alone. I feel forgotten. I feel like my prayers hit the ceiling and fall back down. And that's exactly what the enemy wants you to believe. Because if he can convince you that you're invisible to heaven, then he can keep you silent. He can keep you small. He can keep you from stepping into what God has already assigned to your address. But here's the truth that's going to wreck every lie you've been fed. Yes, someone is asking about your address. Yes, someone is checking it. But it's not the enemy getting the last word. It's heaven double-checking the delivery location of your breakthrough. Let that sink in. Heaven is not asking about your address to condemn you, not to judge the mess in the spare room, or the bills stacked on the counter, or the loneliness that sits at your kitchen table every morning. Heaven is asking because something is being sent, something with your name on it, something that's been held in the courts of glory, waiting for the exact right moment, and that moment is now. Your street has been highlighted in heaven's blueprint, circled in light, marked as a location where God himself intends to move. And I need you to understand something that most people miss. Your home is not just a shelter from the world. It is a gate of miracles. A gate, not a barrier, not a hiding place. A gate, a threshold where heaven meets earth, where the natural collides with the supernatural, where what was impossible becomes undeniable. Genesis 28 tells the story of Jacob sleeping on the ground with nothing but a stone for a pillow. And in that lonely, forgotten place, he had a dream. He saw a ladder, a gateway connecting earth to heaven, angels ascending and descending, and when he woke up, he said something that should shake you to your core. Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Chosen one, listen to me. The Lord is in your place, and you may not have been aware of it until right now. That quiet house you thought was forgotten, it's a Bethel, a house of God, a place where heaven has stationed warriors, where miracles are being prepared, where deliverance is already in motion. You've been asking God, why this address? Why this small life? Why this overlooked corner of the world? And God is answering tonight. Because I chose it. Because I see it. Because I'm about to do something there that will make others wonder what happened behind those walls. Now here's where it gets deeper. There are signs, supernatural signs, that heaven is already moving around your house. And most people miss them because they're looking for the spectacular when God often moves in the subtle. Sign number 1, unexplained peace. You should be falling apart, but something is holding you together. That's not strength, that's angels. Sign number 2, a sudden warmth, not from the heater. A presence that brushes past you in the hallway, sits beside you in the silence. That's not your imagination. That's the glory of God filling your atmosphere. Sign number 3, hope rising without reason. You don't know why, but something in you refuses to quit. That's the Spirit of God breathing life back into what looked dead. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. Heaven is not distant. Heaven is present. And your home, yes, your home is the exact location where God has decided to demonstrate His power. But here's the question that will determine everything. Will you believe it before you see it? Because faith is not waiting for proof. Faith is agreeing with God before the evidence shows up. If you believe that God still sends angels, if you believe that your home is not forgotten, not overlooked, not invisible, then type Amen in the comments right now. Not for me, not for the algorithm, but as a declaration to heaven that says, my house is under watch. My life is marked. My address is circled in light. Because, chosen one, what I'm about to show you next will prove that heaven doesn't just know where you live. Heaven knows what you need, and the delivery is already on the way. Your home is sacred ground, reframing their house. Now listen closely, chosen one. I need you to look around the room you're sitting in right now. Go ahead, look. That old recliner in the corner, the one with the worn armrest where your hand rests every night. That kitchen table with the coffee ring stains you've tried to scrub away 100 times. That Bible on your nightstand, pages dog-eared, cover faded, spine cracked from being opened in the darkest hours of your life. You've called these things ordinary. You've called this place small. You've whispered to yourself more than once, this house doesn't matter to anyone anymore. But tonight, I'm here to tell you something that's going to shake the way you see every single inch of this dwelling. That recliner? That's where God listened to you when nobody else would. That's the throne where you poured out your heart at midnight when the phone didn't ring, when the loneliness pressed in like a weight on your chest, when you cried until there were no tears left. And God Himself sat with you in that chair. He heard every word. He collected every tear in a bottle. Psalm 56:8 says, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Every single one. That kitchen table? That's the altar where miracles happened, and you didn't even know it. That's where you sat with a stack of bills you couldn't pay, a checkbook that didn't add up, and you whispered, God, I don't know how this is going to work, but you paid them anyway. You trusted anyway. You kept going anyway. And somehow, the math worked. The lights stayed on. The water kept running. Food appeared on that table when the pantry looked bare. That wasn't luck, chosen one. That was Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides moving in your house. And that Bible by your bed, that's not just a book. That's the weapon you grabbed when the enemy whispered lies in the 3 a.m. silence. That's the sword you lifted when depression tried to drown you. That's the light you clung to when everything else went dark. Psalm 119:105 declares, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Your home is not what you think it is. Let me tell you what heaven calls it. Your home is an altar where your prayers have been burning like incense for years, where intercession rose like smoke through the ceiling, past the roof, straight into the throne room of God. Every prayer you prayed over your children, your grandchildren, your health, your heartbreak, it didn't evaporate into nothing. It ascended. And it was heard. Your front door is a gate of miracles. Heaven has looked at your address, yes, your exact street, your exact number, and declared, this is where something holy is going to land. Not the mansion down the street, not the big house with the perfect lawn, yours. Because God doesn't measure significance by square footage. He measures it by faithfulness. And you, chosen one, have been faithful in the secret place. Isaiah 32:18 promises, My people will live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest. Read that again. Peaceful dwelling places, secure homes, undisturbed rest. That's not just poetry. That's a prophetic declaration over your house right now. But here's what the enemy has been whispering to you for years. Your house is too small. Your life is too quiet. Nobody notices you. You don't matter anymore. Lies. Every single word lies straight from the pit of hell. Because while the enemy has been trying to convince you that your home is forgotten, insignificant, vulnerable, heaven has been calling it something entirely different. Marked, watched, chosen. Let that sink in. Your address is marked in the courts of heaven. Angels know exactly where you live. They've been stationed there. They've been walking the perimeter. And right now, this very moment, Archangel Michael is standing at your threshold declaring, "No weapon formed against this house shall prosper. No curse will stick to these walls. No darkness will breach this gate." You want to know why someone is asking about your address? Not to locate your pain, not to expose your struggle, not to measure your lack, to locate where blessing belongs. Heaven has already answered the question. They belong at your door. Think about it. When the Israelites were in Egypt, on the night of Passover, God told them to mark their doorposts with blood. Exodus 12:13 says, "The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you." That blood was a marker, a signal, a declaration that said, this house is covered, this house is protected, this house belongs to God. Chosen one, your house is marked too, not with the blood of a lamb, but with the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ. And because of that, your home is not ordinary. It is holy ground. If your walls could talk, they would testify. They would tell the story of the nights you fell to your knees and begged God not to let you give up. They would speak of the mornings you got out of bed when your body screamed to stay down. They would echo the worship songs you hummed through the pain, the scriptures you spoke when fear tried to silence you. Your walls are witnesses, and heaven has been taking notes. So right now, I want you to do something with me. I want you to say this out loud. Don't just think it. Speak it. Say, "My house is not ordinary. It is chosen." Say it again. "My house is not ordinary. It is chosen." One more time with authority. "My house is not ordinary. It is chosen." Now, write this sentence somewhere. In the comments, in your journal, on a sticky note you put on your bathroom mirror. "My home is a gate of miracles." That's not just a nice phrase. That's your spiritual contract with heaven. Because when you declare it, you're agreeing with what God has already said about you. And when your words align with heaven's word, things start to move. Chosen one, do you understand what's happening here?
Who are you?
Someone asking about your address wasn't an invasion. It was an invitation for you to see what heaven has been seeing all along. That your life, your quiet, hidden, faithful life, has been glowing on heaven's map like a city on a hill. And what's about to be delivered to your doorstep will prove it. But before we go there, I need to ask you something. Are you ready to receive what heaven is preparing to send? Because the next thing I'm about to show you will change the way you wake up tomorrow morning. Stay with me. We're not done yet. Spiritual checking of your address. What's really happening? Now let's talk plainly. Because I need you to understand something that most people will never tell you. In the spirit realm right now, as you're listening to these words, there is a checking happening around your address. And I know that sounds unsettling. I know it might make your heart skip a beat. But stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will turn everything you thought you understood upside down. See, there are two forces asking about your home tonight. Two opposing kingdoms. Two completely different intentions. And only one of them has the authority to cross your threshold. Let me start with the one that's been harassing you. The enemy's intention. He's been circling, prowling, sending waves of fear like smoke under your door at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. That anxiety that grips your chest for no reason. That sudden dread that floods your mind when you're just sitting in your living room watching TV. That whisper in your ear saying, "You're not safe. You're alone. No one's coming. You've been forgotten." Listen to me carefully, chosen one. That is not just hormones and age. That is not just your mind playing tricks on you. That is spiritual harassment. And it's intentional. The enemy doesn't waste time on people who don't matter. He doesn't send fear to doorsteps that aren't about to receive something powerful. He's not checking your address because you're irrelevant. He's checking it because he knows what's headed your way. And he's terrified. 1 Peter 5-8 warns us, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." But here's what they don't tell you about lions. They don't roar when they're confident. They roar when they're threatened. When they're trying to intimidate prey that's stronger than they thought. That fear you've been feeling? That's the sound of a defeated enemy trying to scare you away from your own breakthrough. But now, let me tell you about the other checking that's happening. Heaven's intention. And this, beloved, is where everything changes. Heaven is not confused about where you live. Heaven is not lost. Heaven doesn't need GPS or a street map or a mailbox number to find you. What heaven is doing right now is verification, confirmation, final checks before delivery. Think about it like this. When you order something precious, something valuable, FedEx doesn't just toss it on any porch. They double-check. They verify. They make absolutely certain that what was purchased, what was promised, what was sent, ends up at the right door. And right now, heaven is doing the same thing with your miracle. Your address is on the package. Your name is on the scroll. And in the unseen realm, Archangel Michael, yes, the Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, the commander of the Lord's armies, he is standing near your home like a sentinel at the gate, not with a sword raised in judgment, not with condemnation or fear, but with a scroll of promise that carries your name written in holy fire. Daniel 12:1 speaks of him. At that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. He doesn't show up for the insignificant. He doesn't guard what doesn't matter. And right now, he is declaring over your threshold, "This house is not forgotten. This address has been marked. What was written in heaven for this dwelling will not be intercepted. It will not be delayed. It will not end up at the wrong door." Do you hear what I'm telling you? The checking you've been feeling, the stirring, the unusual heaviness, the sense that something is shifting around you, it's not because you're under attack. It's because you're under inspection before delivery. Heaven doesn't deliver carelessly. Heaven doesn't drop miracles randomly. Every blessing, every breakthrough, every divine promise has an assigned address. And when the time comes for it to land, heaven makes absolutely certain the coordinates are correct. You've been feeling things lately, haven't you? Things you couldn't quite name. A weight in the atmosphere. Dreams that feel more real than your waking hours. A sense that something is coming, but you don't know what. That's not paranoia. That's not your imagination running wild. That's the sound of heaven's delivery truck backing up to your driveway. Now listen to me very carefully, because this is where most people miss it. If things have felt stirred up in your life, if relationships have suddenly gotten tense, if your health has taken an unexpected dip, if your finances have felt squeezed tighter than usual, what if it's not because God has abandoned you? What if it's because the enemy sees what's about to be delivered, and he's making one last desperate attempt to get you to move, to give up, to walk away, to change your address spiritually before the package arrives? He wants you to disqualify yourself through doubt, through fear, through bitterness, through unforgiveness. Because if you move, if you spiritually relocate through unbelief, the blessing that was assigned to this address, this season, this version of you, it won't find you. But you're not moving, are you? You didn't come this far to turn around now. You didn't survive everything you've survived just to miss your delivery date. Psalm 34:7 declares, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." Not might deliver, not could deliver, delivers them. Present tense, active, certain. And right now, that angel is stationed at your door, waiting, watching, guarding what's about to cross your threshold. So let me ask you something, chosen one. What if everything you've been feeling, the heaviness, the spiritual pressure, the sleepless nights, the unexplainable anxiety, what if it's all been the sound of heaven doing final checks? What if the enemy's fear is your confirmation? What if the roar you've been hearing is just the sound of a defeated kingdom panicking because your package is almost here? In just a moment, I'm going to give you 3 undeniable signs that heaven is already moving toward your front door. 3 things you've probably been experiencing but didn't understand. And when I tell you what they are, everything is going to click. But before we get there, I need you to do something. If you feel, and I mean feel deep in your spirit, that this message is not random, that you didn't stumble on this video by accident, that your address is truly being checked by heaven right now, hit that like button and share this with someone you love. Not for me, for them, because their house might be on heaven's list too. Don't leave yet, because what I'm about to show you next might be the confirmation you've been begging God for. 6. 3 prophetic signs. Heaven is moving around your home. Now listen closely, chosen one. What I'm about to share with you isn't theory. It isn't wishful thinking. These are concrete, felt, undeniable signs that heaven is already moving around your home right now. You've been waiting for a sign, haven't you? You've been asking God, show me something, anything. Just let me know you're still there. And here's what breaks my heart. You've been so busy looking for thunder and lightning that you've missed the whisper. God doesn't always announce himself with trumpets. Sometimes he arrives in the stillness. Sometimes his angels move so gently that only the spiritually awake can feel them. So let me give you 3 signs, 3 subtle but powerful signals that heaven is already checking, marking, and moving around your address. Sign number 1. Sudden, unexplainable peace. You're sitting in your chair, the same chair you've sat in 1,000 times. The house is still. The TV might be on, but you're not really watching. Your mind isn't racing like it usually does. The weight you carry every single day, the worry, the grief, the endless questions, it's still there. But somehow, it feels lighter. Not perfect, not fixed, just less heavy. And you can't explain it. You didn't pray harder that day. You didn't read some special verse. You didn't do anything different, but something shifted in the atmosphere of your home. The air feels different. Your chest doesn't feel as tight. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, you take a full breath and think, I'm okay. Right now, in this moment, I'm okay. Chosen one, that is not age catching up with you. That is not denial. That is not you getting used to your pain. That is the whisper of angels preparing your atmosphere. Jesus said it himself in John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. The peace he gives doesn't come from good news. It doesn't come from solved problems. It comes from his presence. And when that peace shows up, uninvited, unannounced, unexplainable, that's heaven saying, we're here, you're not alone. And what we're about to do is going to require you to be still. So, if you've felt that peace even for 5 minutes, even once this week, don't brush it off. Don't call it random. That was sign number 1. Sign number 2, a gentle warmth or presence. Now here's where it gets even more real. You're alone in your house. Maybe it's late at night. Maybe it's early morning before the sun comes up. The house is quiet. No one's there but you. And then you feel it. A soft warmth on your shoulder, or the back of your neck, or just a sense deep in your gut that you are not alone. You might turn around expecting to see someone, but no one's there. And here's what the enemy wants you to think. I'm losing my mind. I'm imagining things. I'm just lonely. But let me tell you what's really happening. That is Archangel Michael at post. Not a ghost, not your imagination, not some leftover emotion from a dream. Presence. Hebrews 1:14 asks, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" Yes, they are. And when God dispatches an angel to guard your home, you won't always see them with your physical eyes, but your spirit will know. Your body will respond. You'll feel warmth where there should be cold. You'll sense company where there is only silence.
Who are
Why? Because heaven is guarding what it's about to release. You don't station a warrior at an empty gate. You station him where treasure is about to be delivered. If you've felt that warmth, if you've sensed that presence, don't be afraid. Don't second guess it. That was sign number 2. And chosen one, if you've already felt one or both of these signs, I need you to do something right now. Type this in the comments. I've felt the signs. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. This isn't just you sharing. This is you agreeing with heaven. When you declare it, you activate something in the spiritual realm. So go ahead, type it. I've felt the signs. Now here's the third sign, and this one might shock you. Sign number 3. Hope rising without explanation. You wake up one morning, and for no reason at all you think, maybe it's not over yet. You're folding laundry, staring out the window, and a thought crosses your mind. Maybe God isn't done with me. You're lying in bed at night, and instead of rehearsing all your regrets, you catch yourself thinking, what if something good is still coming? And here's the thing. Nothing changed. Your circumstances didn't improve. Your bank account didn't increase. No one called to apologize. No doctor gave you good news. But hope, unexplainable, illogical, stubborn hope, started rising in your chest like water from a hidden spring. Chosen one, let me tell you something that will set you free. Hope that doesn't make sense is often the first wave of a coming miracle. Proverbs 13:12 says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." God doesn't plant hope in a heart He's abandoned. He plants it in soil He's about to water. So, if you've been feeling hope lately, hope you can't explain, hope that doesn't match your reality, hope that rises even when logic says, give up, don't ignore it. That's sign number 3. And here's what I need you to understand. These aren't random emotions. These aren't hormones. These aren't you trying to stay positive. These are signals. Heaven doesn't move silently. It sends messengers ahead. It prepares the atmosphere. It shifts the spiritual climate around your home before the miracle ever touches your door. And right now, whether you realize it or not, heaven is walking your street. Angels are circling your block. Archangel Michael is standing at your threshold, and the scroll with your name on it is already sealed and ready for delivery. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Have you felt the peace? Have you felt the warmth? Have you felt the hope? If you have, then you need to know. You are not imagining this. You are experiencing the beginning of divine intervention. And if you haven't felt any of these signs yet, don't panic. Don't assume you've been passed over. Because sometimes the sign isn't what you feel, it's what you're hearing right now. The fact that you're still watching this video, the fact that your spirit is leaning in, the fact that tears are rising or chills are running down your arms, that's the sign. Heaven led you here, not by accident, not by algorithm, by assignment. So stay with me, because what comes next is going to blow your mind. We're about to talk about what heaven is actually delivering to your address. And trust me, it's not what you think.